Welcome to this year's Dirty Laundry. It's going to be dirtier than last year. I'm Brandon Blue.
And I'm Phil Sears. Traditionally, this show was recorded live.
And with one host. Now, we're being... It's not live. We're not live anymore! F*** it, we'll do it in post.
Some people are new, and some people came back. Some are... They're just gone. It turns out our old host, James Redler, was an alien. Big surprise. Carl found some sunglasses outside. When he put them on, he found out James's true identity.
And Rachel, that's last year's producer, it turns out she was the world's greatest art thief, the Night Fox. Daniel Ocean, however, rectified that predicament.
That's what she said.
Our top story for this evening. The Iowa State President's House, known as the Knoll...
You mean the knob?
The Knoll is getting an upgrade this year. The Iowa Board of Regents approved $375,000 in donor funds toward renovations such as a $90,000 carpet. Outside, the happy homeless communities await anxiously, hoping the old carpet being thrown away will fit in their cardboard boxes. Other renovations include new paints, window treatments, bathrooms, marble polishing, a second swimming pool, a helicopter pad, a robot butler designed by Grant Imahara, AstroTurf, and having the entire driveway repaved with golden bricks.
Iowa State University has found its new president in Stephen Leith, who was chosen over candidate Kumbal Subbaswamy yesterday afternoon. But there was one candidate who didn't receive as much recognition as those top two contenders. Here to comment on the loss of her campaign to win by write-in vote is Sarah Johnson, senior in communication studies.
Thanks so much for having me.
So, Sarah, how is your camp holding up after hearing the news of the defeat?
Well, I'm not going to lie, it's disappointing. We campaigned as hard as we could, but we're going to take the high road and congratulate President Leith and concede.
I don't know if you can technically concede a day after losing, but anyway, you say you campaigned hard. Can you give me an example of your biggest campaign success?
Well, our entire campaign was more or less just a Facebook group. It had about 130 members in it as of Sunday, so things were looking up. I don't want to say the drastic Facebook changes hurt me, but they really didn't help.
Was there anything else that gave you hope that you'd be a successful president of the university?
No, that was pretty much my trump card, the Facebook group. I thought my minor in hospitality management would give me an edge, but that didn't seem to be the case at all.
Sarah, were you at all aware that the decision was up to the Board of Regents and not open to a public vote?
I became aware of that at about 3 o'clock yesterday afternoon. But it just gave me that much more gusto to get out there and get those last few write-ins.
But you are aware that there was no possible or conceivable way you could have been selected on a write-in vote. You're not even a college graduate yet.
Who better to run a college than someone who's in college? These are my people. I mean, I'm out on Welch, I'm shaking hands, I'm out on Welch, I'm listening to what the students want.
And what have you found that the students want?
To be on Welch.
All right, Sarah, thank you for being with us.
Johnson 2012 campaign kickoff party tonight, my place. Ow!
Now for a tech update. The physics department has begun construction on its Doomsday Machine, which it hopes will be completed in time for the annual Iowa State Death March. This year, the machine will cut a swath of devastation from Jack Trice Stadium to the Campanile, where it will ascend and plant the physics department's intramural flag. In response, university officials and the Board of Regents have allocated $375,000 to install laser-resistant carpeting in the Knoll and delta wave-proof barriers around the new athletics complex. Director of the physics department, Dr. Titus McElroy, told an ISU TV correspondent Thursday his expectations for this year's Death March.
That's the wonderful thing about this year's enrollment numbers. There are so few students that I can comfortably predict a record number of bodies on Central Campus this year.
And Dirty Laundry would like to give a great big platonic 1950s conservative Christian style pat on the butt to our new campus president, Steve Leith. But most importantly, we would like to have a farewell to our president, Gregory Joffrey.
Isn't it Jeffrey? Don't you mean Jeffrey?
I would personally like to say something about President Joffrey. He was my president. He was my mentor. But most of all, He was my friend.
But I thought it was pronounced Jeffrey.
And so we say goodbye to fellow President Joffrey. This one's for you.
Facing a change of status can be confusing for any service member. Call to active duty, relocation, discharge, retirement, they all have their challenges. But when a service member is also receiving mental health treatment, the challenges multiply. How do I get started with my new care provider? What support services will be available in my new location? Who can I turn to in an emergency? The In Transition program can answer these and many other questions. Service members in the program receive a personal coach who can offer access to important resources and encourage the service member to start and stay on track with their new provider. All of which helps maintain continuity of care when the service member may need it most. So, if you or someone you know needs a little help navigating the maze, visit www.health.mil/intransition or call 800-424-7877 in the U.S.
Most people probably think, when it comes to horses, my passion is mainly for training and competition. But they're wrong. Growing up side by side with Australia's wildlife gave me a deep respect for every animal. And if I know my fans at all, I know you have the same passion for animals that I do. So I had to tell you about an organisation I believe in, one that makes a difference in the lives of animals all over the world, the Morris Animal Foundation. For more than 60 years, animal lovers like me have trusted Morris Animal Foundation to help animals worldwide enjoy longer, healthier lives. I am asking you to do the same. Visit morrisanimalfoundation.org to support animal health and welfare worldwide. Your gift today, mate, will give animals a healthier tomorrow. You and the animals you love will be glad you did.
Hey, Phil.
Hey, Brandon.
Did you know that on this day in 1850, the U.S. Navy abolished flogging as a form of punishment?
I did not know that. And what the is flogging?
Well, you know, it's basically whipping, but it hurts like hell. Flagellation or flogging is when someone whips you with a switch or a stick.
Sounds nice.
Well, these days it's mostly a sexual thing. Generally, it's an S&M term, meaning to use a whip for sexual enjoyment.
Well then, I'll bring it up at the next meeting. In other news, Iowa State Police have issued an alert warning students of a man handing out candy from a beige 2000 Dodge Caravan. The 5-page release details several incidents last week in which a patchily bearded man allegedly offered them suckers if they took a ride in his, quote, mystery van. The man was last spotted sprinting pantless from the library, where Iowa State Police claimed he was seen rewrapping candy.
I'm worried, Ames. As a people, I'm seeing so much controversy, and in a certain area. Why can't we just agree? It's the violence. I just can't take it anymore. We're splitting as a nation, Ames. I'm talking, of course, about video game advertising. It's come too far. I mean, check out what David Hasselhoff, better known as the Hoff, has done to this respectable car-exploding video game trailer.
This thing is so last millennium. Time to get lucky. digital or extra crispy?
David, I don't think you're allowed to promote LSD quite yet. You've gone too far with the extras from Greece and the members of the Danish band Aqua. I'm just afraid for the children, since, of course, kids do everything that video games tell them to do.
Lay an egg!
What?
Lay an egg!
No, you lay an egg.
Lay an egg!
David Hasselhoff.
Lay an egg!
Hey, buddy. I'll rip your damn chicken wings off. I swear.
Lay an egg!
Moving
Now
on.
it's time for a brand spanking new segment that will make you want to get out of your chair and shake it like you just don't care. Our very own Carl Lecce has the story.
Thanks for having me. You are now going to experience a little segment I call Campus Dancer, or Jig Time for you Dutch out there. In all seriousness, though, I've been walking around this campus for 5 weeks now, and I can't say I like what I see. People are just walking around with earbuds in like they're clones out of Star Wars Episode 2, alive but not living. That's precisely what I want to change. When you wake up, what do you think of first? Is it class, your bedhead, Friday night's party, or the tent you just pitched in your sheets? Well, that's crap. What you should be thinking of is, how can I stand out from the crowd on campus? This is what you can do to fix your dilemma. Take the dance I feature each week and get down on your walk to class. Let's bring the swag back, Ames.
Wow, Carl. You sure know how to get those hips moving. I gotta get me some of that swag.
Sure do.
Stay tuned, Ames. After the break, we'll have the weekly movie review. You're watching Dirty Laundry on ISU TV.
There's always a moment. The moment you decide to get involved, to get engaged.
This is my
American story.
When you teach someone to read, they have a sense of self-fulfillment.
Seeing family, friends fall victim to gang violence, drugs, it definitely made me want to serve.
There was a hole in the ground, and by the time we left, there was a house.
I realized that these kids were not getting a meal.
It is so easy to give back.
I don't have a lot of money to help people, but I do have something. I have time.
You can give any skill you have.
Get up and do something.
Just imagine how strong a society we could be.
Every one of us has a role to play in making our communities and our country stronger. Discover yours. Help us continue to make a difference in the life of our nation. Go to serve.gov and find the opportunity that works for you. And this message is brought to you by the Corporation for National and Community Service.
Welcome back. The celebrity world is of the utmost importance in all of our lives. For more on that, we go to our senior celebrity correspondent, Leo Rivera.
Thanks, Brandon. And you guys will not believe all the juicy gossip I have for you. Rihanna's Riris were hanging out during the shoot of her newest video, We Found Love. I know what you're thinking. Irish farmer Alan Graham, who owns the land of, where the video was filmed, he was very disturbed when he saw the singer take off her bikini top. Now, would you complain if you were in his position? First of all, he didn't know who Rihanna was. First off, how dare he not know who Rihanna is? And second of all, wouldn't you mind seeing this beauty in her natural state? I mean, come on, like seriously. But don't worry. After all the drama, they worked things out diplomatically and shook hands. So, good for her. And now, did pop star Britney Spears get in trouble with the law for holding a gun and starting a riot? Not quite. But Britney was spotted in East London shooting a scene for her upcoming video Criminal, which tells the story of two criminals played by the 29-year-old singer and her boyfriend Jason, for which she was waving a gun as she got out of a bank that they had just robbed. Now, if you remember last month, in that same area, some riots took place, and oddly enough, the authorities were a little sensitive about it. So now the county officials are expecting Britney to apologize and possibly make a donation to repair the emotional damages caused by her rudeness. Seriously? Well, what else can I do?
Thank you, Leo. Our new movie,
Film
correspondent, is professor of theater and film at the Royalton Academy. His plays include The Widow, Why Is There a Stranger in My Bed, and Guido, The Life and Times of a Tool. His latest book, 3D is God, the platinum age of the movie,
Film,
has sparked violent, massive riots throughout Great Britain and much praise in the U.S. Please welcome Dr. Lawrence Von Talleyrand.
Good evening. I must say it is an honor to be here. This early fall has had some of the greatest, most influential movies of all time.
Really?
Oh, most indubitably. I mean, granted, flops like Drive and Contagion will always occur year-round.
But I like Contagion, though.
Ergo, an uneducated American who was born under a rock that came with its own supply of Twinkies. You can tell immediately those films will be atrocious from their simpleton one-word titles. Good movie films contain at least 3 syllables.
Okay, well then what do you like?
A good old-fashioned orgy.
No. What movie did you like? I don't really care what you're into right now.
That's it. A good old-fashioned orgy. 5 words of such complexity. Already you want questions answered like, how is an old orgy different from a new orgy? What makes it so good? Isn't this a documentary? And symbolism is infinite. You just all the time.
So you liked it just because of the title?
Of course not, you Neanderthal. This film hits directly at the heart of America's problems. The isolation of the individual. Using such hyperbolic scenarios, it symbolizes our desire to communicate that lie underneath the barriers of technology. Truly a generational film.
Huh. I never thought of it that way. I thought it was just a mediocre sex farce.
Precisely, pig. All you could think of was the sex. But the hot models have hot coitus symbolizing our inability to look past physical attraction, which plagues our time. See, this movie has so many intricate subtleties, our team barely discovered them all.
You have a team that analyzes these movies.
Films. They are called films. And indubitably, today's films are so complex in structure, a critic can no longer work by himself.
So movies like Shark Night 3D are too complex to analyze on your own?
Oh, precisely.
Okay.
But Shark Night is interesting. Here is a film that breaks new boundaries, experimenting with concepts never seen before on screen. The main antagonists terrorize their victims out of view, always under the water. To have an innocence torn from you in such jolting of manners is something unexpected that will have audiences coming to this film again and again.
You mean like Jaws?
Wait, like what?
Jaws, the classic Spielberg movie, I'm sorry, film, where a giant shark kills people.
Oh, posh. That rubbish is entirely different from Shark Night.
How?
There's only one shark in Jaws, and there's much greater symbolism. See, in the film,
thank you, Lawrence, but I'm afraid the time is up. We'll see you sometime in the future.
How dare you interrupt my segment? You balmy Burke Billy No-Bates bit. You yellow bastard of a poxy pikey. You... Well, honestly, I must say, well, you're right. Hey, what? Hey, don't take me off stage. Not so young, gently into that dark night. Good job.
It symbolized you being an ass. So, thanks for tuning in to our bigger, smellier, rankier, stankier, dirtier, laundrier show. We'll be back next week. You stay flexible, Ames.